is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hey, there you are. Thanks for stopping by. Yep, it's that time again. Time for another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report, the only show on the internet that gives you the up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. As always, we have some good, juicy stuff for you this week to help you catch up with the famous who are now on the other side. So, what do you say we make this happen? Over the past weekend, we received word that wrestler Roddy Piper had transitioned to the next world at age 61. As a wrestling fan in the 80s, Rowdy was always one of my favorite bad guys. Actually, he was pretty much my favorite bad guy. He had great presence and charisma with the crowd. Even if you're not a wrestling fan yourself, chances are you've seen some of the many remembrances of him that have appeared online over the past few days. Upon Roddy's arrival in the afterlife, he was, of course, welcomed by the longtime greeter to the stars, Soul Brother number one, Mr. James Brown. My sources tell me that while Roddy was excited to meet James, Brown seemed a bit unsure about who Piper was at first. One of his ever-present entourage whispered something in his ear, and that seemed to spark something in his memory. A large crowd was also on hand to welcome Roddy. In the crowd were Vince McMahon Sr., father of the current CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, and recently transitioned wrestler Dusty Rhodes, a longtime friend of Roddy's. Loyal listeners to the report know that the elder McMahon operates a theatrical company in the next world that specializes in the plays of William Shakespeare. All of the actors in the company are former wrestlers, with the exception of Doors singer Jim Morrison and astronaut Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. As soon as James Brown was done with the formal welcoming ceremonies, McMahon and Rhodes emerged from the crowd to say hi to their old friend and to offer him a job with their acting troupe. As you may know, outside of the squared circle, Piper starred in They Live and Hell Comes to Frogtown, turning in more than credible performances. My sources say that while Roddy seemed a bit overwhelmed both by his arrival in the afterlife and the immediate offer of a job, within seconds Hot Rod was his old self, hamming it up for the assembled masses as he accepted the position. Next, we have a story that crosses the line between the earthly plane and the afterlife. Last week, Bobbi Kristina Brown, daughter of Whitney Houston, who is currently married to former American President Abraham Lincoln, and her earth plane husband Bobby Brown, transitioned to the next world. Shortly after Bobbi Kristina arrived in her new existence, Whitney and Abe invited her to join their summer replacement TV variety show, patterned after the old Sonny and Cher comedy hour. Bobbi Kristina accepted the offer and is currently taping shows with her mom and new stepdad. Meanwhile, back in our existence, a feud has broken out between the Brown and Houston sides of Bobbi Kristina's family. This past Saturday morning, a memorial service was held for her in Georgia. Leola Brown, Bobbi Kristina's aunt, walked out of the service while Whitney Houston's sister-in-law and former manager Pat Houston was speaking. Members of the family told Earthplane news reporters that the feud is, quote, just starting, unquote. Back in the next world, Bobbi Kristina addressed a hastily assembled press conference, according to several sources. This fighting among my family members saddens me, Bobbi Kristina read from a prepared statement. I speak for my mother and President Lincoln when I say that none of us wants this squabbling to continue. If my words reach you, I want you to know that we all hope that you will stop fighting. We are family, and we should act like one. When she finished her statement, Bobbi Kristina, her mother, and stepfather left the podium without taking any questions from the media. Many months ago, I reported that world-famous physicist Albert Einstein was working on a musical play titled E equals MC squared about his own life. Initially, operetta writers Gilbert and Sullivan were collaborating on the show with Dr. Einstein until the dreaded creative differences caused Albert to part company with them. He then hired Jerry Goffin, ex-husband of singer-songwriter Carol Kane, to help him take the show in a more pop direction. According to a source, the play has been written and is going to open to the public in the near future. Word is that the finished version of E equals MC squared is similar in style to Mamma Mia, the popular Earthplane show filled with music by ABBA. The source has seen a dress rehearsal and tells me that he believes the show will be a smash. It reportedly features a few numbers with an entire chorus of male and female singers, all made up to look like Einstein, frizzy hair and all, as well as some cutting-edge special effects. If you find yourself in the afterlife in the near future, this sounds like a show you should plan on catching. Lastly, there's trouble in Nirvana. Sometime back in a move that shocked his Next World fans, singer Kurt Cobain married actress, model, reality show star Nicole Smith. As if to upset them even more, Cobain proceeded to add his new wife to the lineup of his reconstituted version of Nirvana. Many predicted that would not go well, and many were correct. After their first concert, one reviewer referred to the band as Novana, calling Smith, quote, a blow-up doll disguised as a singer, unquote. Cobain, never one to back down, started reading the review on stage at subsequent shows and gleefully sang I Got You, Babe with Smith between Nirvana songs. Things did not improve from there. Audiences dwindled, and the people who did show up seemed to be there mostly to boo Anna Nicole's attempt at singing. Now comes word that Cobain has finally gotten the message. His bride is no longer appearing on stage with the band, leading many to wonder how this will affect their marriage. As you would guess, this is a story we will be following closely in the coming weeks. And that will do it for this edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. I'll be back next week with more up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. Until then, would you please help spread the word that the report is available for free on iTunes? I am the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.